Hey tech dudes, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to learn how to create a new Azure tenant and migrate your existing resource to the newly created tenant. If you are using Azure's default setup, don't worry, I will show you everything step by step. We will also talk about why creating a separate tenant is helpful. Let's get started. When you first sign up for Azure, all your resources are stored in the default directory. This works fine for small setups, but creating a new tenant can help you better manage resources and security for bigger projects. So let's get create a new Azure tenant. For that, click on Microsoft Entra ID. So this can be called as Azure ID also. Okay. In the top you can see manage tenants. Click on this, and here right now you can see the default directory here. So I would like to create a new one. I'm clicking on create, and here you need to select a tenant type. I'm selecting as Azure AD. Click on configuration, and here you need to give organization name and initial domain. So I'm giving as tech dudes tenant, and as it is the domain is not available, I'm adding adda, tech dudes adda. Location I'm selecting India. So the domain is also available. Now subscription, I already have a subscription group called tech dudes, and resource group also I have. Click on tech dudes. That's it. Next, review and create. If you see the validation also passed here, that's it. Click on create. With this step, our new tenant is going to create in few steps. Once your tenant is ready, switching between tenants is easy. For that, just refresh URL and click on settings, and here you can see our recently created tenant. Okay, now we need to move all our existing resource to the newly created tenant. So first let's switch to newly created tenant here by clicking here. If you see, we don't have any services and any subscription also. So let's look for subscriptions. Right now we don't have any subscription for this tenant. So we are going to migrate our existing subscription along with the resource group to this newly created tenant. So let's switch back to our old tenant. Go to subscriptions and open the subscription. And here you can see an option called change directory. Click on this change directory. This is from our default directory and the target directory. Here I am able to see the recently created tenant. Select this and check this checkbox and click on change. It will take couple of seconds to switch subscription group from old tenant to new tenant. We'll get notified once it is done. Changing the subscription directory moves all linked resources to the new tenant. For specific items, you can move them one by one. Just reload. Right now we are in our default directory. Our subscription is now moved to newly created tenant. So that's the reason we are getting no access. Now let's switch back to our newly created tenant. That's it. Subscription group also migrated to newly created tenant. If you see directory tech dudes tenant. Okay. Now let's verify resource groups. Go to home. Click on resource groups. This is the resource group which we have migrated from our old tenant to new tenants. Let's open this. And here you can see all the existing resource migrated from our old tenant to new tenant. Next, what is Azure Tenant? Why do we need an Azure Tenant? When do we need a new Azure Tenant? First one, what is an Azure Tenant? An Azure Tenant is like your own private workspace in the cloud, where you can manage users, permissions, and resources securely. It's tied to your organization and powered by Azure Active Directory. Why do we need an Azure tenant? To manage users and access securely, to organize resources for different projects or different environments like QA, development, UAT, production, etc. To create a dedicated workspace for your organization's data and services, and to control who can access what in your Azure environment. When do we need a new Azure tenant? When setting up a separate organization or client, to isolate environments like development, production, QA, etc., to meet compliance or legal requirements for data separation, and when managing resources for multiple businesses or projects. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Tech Dudes. Let's learn something in the next one. See you soon.